Welcome back to JBSports. I'm your host, John the Burden, and today is Wednesday, so you know it's all about wrestling, Wrestling Wednesdays. So today we're going to go over Raw a little bit, and then we'll go on to SmackDown, and then talk a little bit about what's been going on recently with wrestling, just because I missed last week, so I had to, of course, had stuff to do. It was a long, hard week, but we're back, and I am ready to get to work. So, first, first match of the night, we're going straight into it. Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. Of course, not a bad match. It's Grayson Waller and Jey Uso. They both are pretty good at wrestling, so they're going to have a good match. Overall, you know who was going to win. It's going to be Jey Uso. You were just wondering what was going to happen after it because, Gunther, him versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania. So it's only a matter before Gunther comes out, especially since he said that he was going to make Jay's life terrible up until WrestleMania. So you knew something was going to go down, and of course it did. After the match, Jey Uso won. He was fighting both of them because, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, tag team partners, they always attack the person after the match. Warded them off, and then Gunther just comes from behind and chokes him out. It's going to be the same thing, but I think next week, Jey Uso will probably talk or have a match, and Gunther will come out, but the Alpha Academy will help him because I don't know how we got to Alpha Academy being Jey Uso's saviors, but it got there, and it's not a terrible thing. I just don't really understand why they're in the storyline. You'd think maybe like Jimmy would come out and help because, it's his brother, but overall, whatever. Next thing, Logan Paul calls out AJ Styles, beats him with a punch. Logan actually was all right. He's a really good wrestler. Promos are starting to get there, but I don't really think he's a promo artist yet per se. But overall, not bad. Andrew Schultz was there. He's a comedian. He actually got in the ring because Logan pulled him over after Andrew said he was here to see all the wrestling and AJ Styles and not Logan Paul. He said basically no one here wants to see you, Logan. So that's what he did to get Logan to toss him over. He was gonna do a finishing move on Andrew Schultz there, and Andrew was saved by AJ Styles coming out. AJ Styles fights Logan Paul off and gets him out of there. Calls Logan a chicken a few times, but Logan does not budge, and he walks out the arena. I love seeing AJ Styles back. Honestly, I'm kind of excited for this matchup. I think Logan Paul and AJ Styles are actually a good fit. I think they could have some good chemistry. So excited to see this matchup, and we'll see where it goes from here. But we'll have to figure it out. I think it'll be a great match, though. Next match, um, Tornado Tag Team match: Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus the New Day. Most of the match was fine, but really the big part of the match, well, one funny moment is when Kofi swatted Pat McAfee's drink away, but there was a luchador who jumped the barricade, did a straight Hurricane Rana on Rey, or was it? I think it was Dragon Lee. He did the Hurricane Rana on suplexed Rey, and a lot of people knew it's Chad Gable, and then after someone was getting escorted out in the same exact thing Chad Gable was in, most likely like a fake out. Most likely what happened is they just switched the mask onto it because the mask's an American made. The way they got posed, it was most likely Chad Gable. This may be a small thing where maybe it's not, but it's pretty much obviously Chad. So it is what it is, but it was a funny moment. Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody Rhodes last week had a pretty emotional promo. Didn't do the whoa. He was in an attitude. This week comes out totally fine. Love it. He is confident. He is ready to take on John Cena. He is he's ready. He's ready for this matchup. I think it's gonna be great. He's so good on the mic, and I think the matchup's gonna be great. I really want to hear what John Cena has to say though, because John Cena's been tweeting a little bit. He's been doing a little online, especially Instagram, but I want to see what Cena has to say. I really want to see him. I want to see a promo from him. I really need to hear him. Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. It was an okay match. Nothing too special. It's just a normal Bayley match. I don't hate Bayley, and she's a good wrestler. I'm just a little bored personally. That's all. Then we have Michael Cole interviews Io Sky. This goes awry, not to rhyme with Io Sky, but um, they're talking about it. She's talking about how excited she is that she's coming out as to WrestleMania as champ, just like last year, and how she's gratitude for the fans. And then next thing you know, Bianca comes out and Rhea comes out, and they start arguing, and then they start bickering at each other. Io's like, "All right, come on, guys, I'm the champ. I'm right here. What are we doing here? What are we doing?" And next thing you know, Rhea pushes her away. Bianca pushes her away, and Io's mad because they're disrespecting me. I'm the champion. You should be listening right now. She's telling them to listen. They're not. They're disrespecting her. So next thing you know, she punches Rhea in the face, right? And then Bianca's like, oh man, she just knocked her down. She turns to Bianca and just slaps her, like a loud slap, and it knocks her down, which was really cool to see Io kind of like get home and we're like, listen, you guys might be bigger, you guys might be more popular, whatever, but I'm here too. I'm the champion. You gotta be real with yourself. Be honest. I'm the champion, not you guys. So Io gets her moment. She walks out the ring, kind of throwing a hissy fit, but hey, we all love Io. We love her. We love her. It was a great segment. And then next, the biggest part of the night was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in a steel cage match. Absolutely amazing match. It was awesome. Some great moments. The buckle bomb onto the cage. Seth does a finish. I think he does a GTS on CM Punk, and then Punk's about to leave after a while because he beat up Seth and says like, "Hey, you want WWE? You gotta take it from me. Don't get out the cage." And so Punk closes it, then goes after Seth. Seth gets out of it, hits a stomp, hits a GTS, I think, one of the two in some proportion, and then goes for a cover. CM Punk kicks out. Seth is so mad. So Seth goes to the top rope, hits what is it called? Shoot, I forgot what it's called. It was it's a curb stomp, but from like the top rope. I can't remember what it's from, but whatever. But he hits a curb stomp from the third rope. Knocks CM Punk out. He's kind of like saying there, like laying, like, do I cover him? Do I like? He's kind of had mixed emotions. I don't know if he was thinking like, did I really just do that to CM Punk, or like what's going on? Like whatever he's thinking, you couldn't really tell. And the camera's on him, so the crowd starts cheering. And of course, we kind of knew it's one more. But I love when they do this because it gives a little mystery to people watching at home because the crowd's cheering. What are they cheering about? Is CM Punk getting up? Is Seth doing something? And the camera's just on Seth, so you know what Seth's going. So you don't know he's doing anything. He's right there. And then next thing you know, it goes to behind Seth, and he just gets ripped out by someone. He wins the match, and of course, everybody basically knew after what happened at Royal Rumble, it was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out, beats the brakes off of Seth, curve stomps him, spears him a few times, curve stomps him, bring him around, goes to do the curb stomp on the steel stuff like Seth did to him. Thankfully, security and Adam Pearce do the job, go out there, save Seth from almost dying, and that's over. Seth survives another day. But the biggest moment of it, the biggest moment of the night, we all look at the ring. There's a little cheering, but a little like confusion. Paul Heyman is in the ring, comforting, like seeing if CM Punk comforting him, see if he's okay. And Roman, you can kind of see Roman's a little confused and jealous that his Wiseman is comforting someone else than him, talking to someone else, making sure they're okay. Even though he seemed like okay with Punk in the past, but he's mad. So probably one because he's with the Wiseman, and also Punk eliminated him from the Royal Rumble. So you can kind of see the harsh feelings from there. But he goes in the ring, picks CM Punk up, and just starts throwing him back and forth, bouncing him off the walls of the steel cage. It was funny. But and then just spears him, and Paul Heyman's just like, "Oh, what did I get myself into?" And then somehow this is gonna make like CM Punk use his favor, something like that. But somehow CM Punk is gonna use his favor from this. I'll get into that a little bit later, but we'll see, we'll see. But from Raw to SmackDown, we got some. This is last week, so this will have different parts of the story. But this is when Cody Rhodes talks to John Cena, talks his trash. You know, everything goes down. It was great. Cody emotional, like I said, overall great promo. Next thing, this isn't in order because I don't fully remember what happened in order last week. I'll just talk about the big things. Bianca comes out and asks for Naomi to come out because she needs to figure out what happened between her friend Naomi and her friend Jade Cargill. She's pleading for Naomi to come out. Naomi finally comes out and she tells Bianca, "Hey, listen, I did it. All right, I did attack Jade." And then she says, "I did it for you. I did it for us. Like we were such good friends." And then Jade comes in and yada yada yada, basically the same thing as I did it for The Rock, but she did it for Bianca. Then you hear Jade's music hit, and you don't know if she's out here to talk because Bianca's crying at this point. She's mad. You don't know if Jade's coming out to talk because Bianca's walking out the ring. Jade comes in, looks at Bianca, keeps walking, goes and just demolishes Naomi again. Like absolutely brutalizes her. It was insane. Jade Cargill did not give her any breath. She just took her out. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Naomi's gone for a few weeks because the way the last two times how she has absolutely like destroyed like Naomi is insane. So other things, Randy Orton talks about him versus Kevin Owens, talks about his return, and he sounds also on John Cena a little bit, talking about how like, hey, I knew it from the start. I knew it before you guys found out. He's like, what I've been saying for years, what most people have been saying. Um, Tiffany Stratton versus Piper Niven. Tiffany wins. I mean, is it a surprise? Next one, Pretty Deadly versus Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza for the number one contendership. Pretty Deadly wins. I was surprised. Not that like Pretty Deadly's an okay tag team. I don't hate them, but I thought maybe they'd run it back to the Motor City Machine Guns. But no, Pretty Deadly actually get it. Definitely don't think they'll win the title, but it is what it is. Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa, and like a normal bloodline match, either it ends in a no contest or there's interference. No contest, of course. Jacob came in and attacked attacked him. Next, women's championship match. Chelsea Green defeats Michin in a street fight. Overall, really great street fight. Did not like Michin's jersey. Is an Eagles jersey. Ew, don't like them. No hard feelings. I'm a Commanders fan, as you can see from my Jaden Daniels jersey. But yeah, overall, really good match. It had some great action. Michin putting Chelsea through the table was fun. Used some weapons, all good. And then near the end, you're like, all right, Michin kind of looks like she's gonna take this one. She put Chelsea through the table. But I think it was it Alba Fire? Alba Fire came back. She was in that. She got Michin off a pin on Chelsea. She pulled her out after she got her through the table. It was a hooded thing, of course, so you didn't know who it was. And then she pulls it off, throws Michin in. Chelsea Green gets the win, as she should. The best women's United States champion of all time, the first and the last champion. Not really. There'll be more after her, but she'd definitely be probably one of the best because she's awesome. But Alba Fire comes in, also win the match, and at the end, he does a salute. And yeah, overall, really interesting. Love, maybe they're going to start a little faction there. Maybe Alba Fire and Chelsea Green will become good friends, and that'll turn Piper on Chelsea because Alba Fire and her are doing great. Or Alba Fire kind of becomes friends and then snakes away into a title shot and wins. Also, Drew McIntyre beat Jimmy Uso, unfortunately. Um, Sad. Love Jimmy. Wish he could win more, but he did roll up Drew the other day, but I'd rather have him continue to win, but that doesn't seem it. But of course, Drew and Damian Priest fought for like the second time, I think, that night. Yeah. And then to finish off the night, LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. And honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't think LA Knight was gonna retain. I thought get the title back. I thought Shinsuke would retain, and it did not end up being that way. LA Knight actually regains his title off of Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, pretty disappointing title reign. He kind of got his aura back when he won the title, and they just didn't use him the best. But LA Knight is a great champion. He fits a championship build. Not that Shinsuke doesn't, but LA Knight just really has a crowd. So it's really smart to put it on him. I understand the action, but Should have made Shinsuke's title a little bit better, title reign, but whatever. It's cool. It'll be great. But LA Knight, yeah, is now your new United States champion. Other than that, just a few things, you got to think of. John Cena soon. Really excited. I think some new merch for him might have dropped. I don't remember. I saw rumors that they could be fake, so I won't pull anything up. John Cena versus Cody will be interesting. But one big thing I want to talk about is CM Punk's involvement in WrestleMania is it's clearer. I mean, he had that promo on John Cena and The Rock. So I feel like he might be wrestling both days, if I had to guess. Because there's a chance you have him, Seth, and Roman the first night of WrestleMania, that triple threat. And then the favor he uses could be to get him in the next main event, or next night's main event, with Cody and John Cena, because he deserves his main event moment. And I would love for CM Punk to be the one to win the title at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, I don't think he will. I think CM Punk's more like he just wants to be in a main event, but I think he should win a main event. It's because CM Punk he's one of them guys. He deserves it. For how much he's given to the industry and the time he's in there, of course, he took a little hiatus of a few years, not too many years, a lot of time, but he deserves it. I think most people will agree that CM Punk is a really good champ. He's a really good wrestler, and he's one of the best promo artists in history. It really just is that. And I don't really see many arguments for him not to be one. I see too many for him to be one. Not really. You know what I mean. I just see a lot of them for him to be one of the best of all time. He deserves it. And speaking of triple threats, this Io Sky versus Bianca versus Rhea one definitely will be a triple threat. And honestly, personally, I do think Io will retain. I think they're possibly going to misjudge her again and not take her seriously. They're like, oh, she's small. What is she going to do? And I think she'll retain. I think Bianca and Rhea will they'll all three fight for a little bit, and then both of them will kind of attack Io, think, oh, she's not coming back, and throw it aside, and they'll wrestle. And then Io comes in there, whoops some butt, and takes the title back home to Damage Control or whatever's left of them, because I believe the other two are injured, Asuka and Kairi Sane. So, unfortunate for them. Hope they get better. And I just hope all of them get better. It sucks when there's injuries, but sometimes the injuries are just unavoidable. But overall, I think WWE's been really good recently. The Chad Gable storyline is amazing. I love what they're doing with that. Some of the other storylines, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, already cooking to be one of the better ones in a long time. Everything's been really good, but this storyline is cooking. Especially the involvement with The Rock, and not only The Rock being there, but CM Punk talking about all of them makes it even more interesting because people aren't going to think about CM Punk being in it, I don't think, and he's going to find a way in it. So, a lot of good stuff going to come from this WrestleMania. I think people are worried, but I don't ever want to hear disappointment in Triple H booking again after what he's cooked up recently. You're going to have Finn versus Braun, I think, next week at Raw. You're going to have this SmackDown. Interesting to see, because I believe John will be at this SmackDown, because I think it's the European tour now. So you're going to get some answers soon. Hopefully, he has that heel theme cooked up. I hope it's the old one, because I want to hear the old heel theme, but so much good is happening in WWE recently, and I think everybody should just enjoy the ride instead of complaining all the time. I think the IWC, aka the Internet Wrestling community, is very over demanding at some points. Sometimes you're going to have to let things simmer before they cook. You got to let it chill, and then it becomes better. So, overall, I think it's going to be a great WrestleMania. Will it beat last year? I don't know. That WrestleMania was special. I might be saying that because I went to that WrestleMania and I was there to witness it, and it was one of the best times in my life. But last year's WrestleMania, in my opinion, is the best one I've ever witnessed, and maybe the best one ever. But overall, it's going to be a banger no matter what, especially if Triple H is at the helm. Also, NXT cooked last night. Stephanie Vakir wins the title. For all the titles, she wins the NXT Women's Championship and retains her NXT North American Women's Championship. So, all is good there as well. They're cooking down there. Interesting to see what happens to Julia if she gets moved up to the main roster. But after all that, we talked about Raw, we talked about SmackDown, we talked about some things just going on in wrestling, and then a little bit of NXT just now. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do it, and please like it and subscribe. And I will see you guys on Friday, because it might be a long episode about talking about free agency and stuff, and I might make a video or two around this time. We'll see what I have. I got some free time. So thank you guys, and bye.